Good morning, everybody. I hope you're sitting comfortably in a chair, maybe, or maybe you're still in bed, or maybe you've come to the floor to sit on a cushion or a block, so that you're able to find some ease wherever you are, wherever you are. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. People are still arriving. And when you've chosen where you want to sit and how you want to sit, maybe closing your eyes. You could have your palms facing down on your legs, or you might like to bring the tip of your forefinger into the base of your thumb and allow the rest of your fingers to extend, and then rest the hands down. And taking a few moments to arrive in your body. Taking these first few moments to simply be aware of what you've woken with this morning. What's here with you right now? Sensations in the body. Maybe there are fragments of dreams still lurking, still present. The sense of the body breathing. What does it feel like to breathe this morning? Opening yourself to the morning. Opening yourself to life, allowing it to come to you, flood you, allowing the day in. And you don't need to think about this. This is an experience, not an analysis. Feeling yourself sitting or lying here, open to the day, open to life. With a sense of the atmosphere in your room. Maybe with a sense of somebody next to you. Feeling the support beneath you, so you can feel the ground supporting you, holding you this morning. And taking a few moments to recall a place and a time when you felt completely at ease, completely whole and abundant. It doesn't matter where that is. It could even be a fantasy. but taking yourself to that place and that time fully, so you're able to smell the smells. The colours are alive for you, the colours are vivid. Maybe you're with somebody you love. Maybe it's an open landscape. Can you just be there completely, feeling that sense of deep calm, that sense of wholeness and abundance? And if this isn't available to you, which is also possible, can you come to feel all sensations in your body? Feeling just as you are just now. And after a while, if you have been experiencing that place and time of abundance, of wholeness, can you drop the memory, drop the image, but hold onto the felt bodily sensation of being there, being with that person, being in that place? So you feel wrapped up in an embrace of all-pervading calm, all-pervading ease. You feel it in your body. Maybe you feel it in the space immediately around your body. An envelope of calm, of ease, of well-being. And knowing that this feeling can always be present for you, whatever goes on in your day-to-day, whatever unfolds over the following days and weeks, months. You have this resource, this envelope of all-pervading calm, ease, well-being to fall back into, to hold you, to penetrate every cell of your body. I'm beginning to notice the sensation of the breath. This simple stream of a natural breath, really alive to the air in your nostrils. The feeling of that coolness of the air going to the back of your nose and your sinus cavities, down into your throat, chest, maybe into the pit of your stomach. And feeling the breath travel back again from the pit of your stomach all the way up. Maybe feeling a little bit warmer now as it leaves you into the space immediately around you. You're pouring attention completely into this experience of the breath. The stream of the breath. A sense of breathing in the day, breathing in the aliveness of the day. And breathing out your gift to the day. What are you going to bring to your day? Beginning to become aware of your whole body breathing. So you move from that path of the breath through the nostrils to a sense of your whole skin boundary as a lung. So that you feel this gentle pulse of life as the whole body breathes in. And the whole body lets go on each breath out. With the quality of a silk cocoon, gently expanding on each inhale and releasing inwards on each exhale, very delicate, breathing with the day. Breathing with the day. Breathing with the day. And coming back to a sense of the stream of your breath now, coming back to sensation in the nostrils. Moving your attention to sensations in the rest of your body. The base of your body in contact with the surface beneath you. Really feeling into the lower body. Noticing sensations in the torso, the side waist and the side ribs, the shoulders, your skull. So you come right back into the body now. Alive, alert. And recalling that time and a place, if it was there for you, where you felt completely whole, completely abundant, secure and safe. And coming back to the felt embodied sense of that deep ease and calm. And I'll read a few words by Ram Dass that I've already read. David Kemp sent them to me, and I just think they're lovely, so I'll read them to you. The verse or the words are titled Namaste. In India, when we meet and part, we often say Namaste, which means I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you of love, of light, of truth, of peace. I honor the place within you where if you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, there is only one of us. Namaste. Beginning to take a few slightly deeper breaths. Be feeling the rise and fall of your abdomen now with the breath. Maybe fluttering, open and close your eyes a few times, maybe licking your lips and having a little bit of a stretch as you come back. Ready for your day. If you're going to join me for gentle yoga, if you'd like to make your way onto your backs, if you are just here for the meditation, namaste, and thank you so much for coming. I hope you have an open day. Thank you. So you're coming to lying on your backs with your knees bent, soles of your feet on the floor. And as you get comfortable, I'm just going to have a bit of a sip of tea, if you don't mind. Lovely. I do like my first cup of tea in the morning. I'm coming to a sense of a groundedness beneath you, a ground that holds you. If you have your socks off, which I would recommend, really feeling through the soles of your feet. And following up the back body until you come to the back of your head. So really feeling the back of the pelvis, the back of your rib cage, shoulders, and the back of your head. Maybe your palms are down beside you. And take a moment. We have an hour together this morning, which is lovely for me. I much prefer that for teaching, or even more, but an hour is good. Taking a moment to ask yourself that very simple but necessary question of what's brought you to your mat this morning? What's brought you here? What do you really need from this practice? Maybe some of you, like me, barely slept because of the most incredibly bright, super Libra moon shining through your window. Maybe that's still with you now, and maybe you feel a need to rest a little or absorb a little. Maybe it's something entirely different, and you would like perhaps to dedicate your practice to somebody else. Take a few moments to find an answer to that question, what you most need from this practice, and you can convert that into, I would say, one single word that encapsulates your sankalpa, your intention. It could be love, it could be care, it could be the breath. We're going to do some very subtle core work this morning. Again, these are things that we've done before. And it's a way, I've been doing a lot of balancing in the other classes, but with the core work, we're working on a sense of a core stability, which is so essential to the way we find balance or the way we navigate between imbalance and balance. Can you bring your attention to the very base of your pelvis, your pelvic floor? And notice that as you breathe in, you might feel a softening around the diaphragm, but you might feel also a slight softening of the base of your pelvis. And then as you breathe out, can you notice a very gentle drawing up of the pelvis? So I'm not talking about clenching, I'm not talking about a strong engagement of the Mula Bandha. I'm simply talking about this gentle softening, and then very slight contraction, very slight lift of the pelvic floor. And if you're sensitive in your body, you might notice that, I've already mentioned it partly, you might notice that your diaphragm is moving in a similar way to your pelvic floor. So as you breathe in, you feel it softening and releasing down onto your abdominal organs. And as you breathe out, it, together with the pelvic floor, it floats up underneath your ribs. Just for a few breaths, really feeling into this swell and then slight lift with no pressure, no clenching. Noticing the quality of this breath. Staying very intimate, very close. It's quite possible that as you practice this pelvic floor breathing, that you notice the rest of your body coming into a slight ripple with the breath. Not necessarily, but I notice, for example, as I breathe in and soften the diaphragm, soften the pelvic floor, that my pelvis tilts slightly forwards. And as I breathe out and encourage that slight lift from the pelvic floor, my pelvis tilts back again, back flattening against the floor. And this ripple, if you want it to, you might notice it goes all the way up to your head. Gentle ripple of this breath all the way up the spine. Simply taking a few more breaths like this, attentive to the ripple and not worrying if that's not there for you, because it really doesn't matter. We all come to this practice with such different bodies, such different needs, such different sensitivities. And then letting that go. And we're going to, if you'd like to lift, begin to peel the right foot off the floor. So you're lifting your knee up, but without rocking the pelvis now. So we're trying to keep the pelvis completely still. And then lowering the foot down. So in the breath, keep going like this. In the breathing practice we just did, I encouraged you to tilt the pelvis front and back. But now, can you keep the pelvis completely stable? So that when you lift the knee and your foot comes off the floor, you might feel a very delicate enlivening of your abdominal muscles, your core. And don't worry if you don't. But I'm beginning to feel my side waist working a little bit, the muscles of the side waist. Feeling the navel a little bit closer back towards the spine. Next time your right foot reaches the floor, allowing the foot to come down completely and simply noticing. Maybe you even felt down into the inner thigh as your psoas muscle was, which is an integral part of your core, was engaged in that movement. And when you're ready, begin to peel the left foot off the floor, remembering to keep the pelvis completely stable. Knee comes towards you a little bit and then dropping the foot. So you choose how high you want to lift the foot off the floor. The height doesn't really matter. It's the stability in the pelvis that really interests me here. You're just dipping that foot, that big toe down and lifting it again. A couple more times. And your breath is steady. We're not trying to do anything specific with the breath now. And then lowering your left foot down completely and noticing how you feel. And lifting both knees up so that your thighs are parallel with the floor. Excuse me, that's not what I mean, is it? I mean your thighs are perpendicular, vertical. And still feeling that stillness in your pelvis, trying to even flatten your lower back against the floor so you feel your deep abdominal muscles working a bit. And then from here, dip the right foot down and lift it. Dip the left foot down and lift it. And some of you will keep going, and some of you will find this very easy, and some of you, including me, begin to feel the depth of my abdominal muscles, of your abdominal muscles. You might even notice you're beginning to grip a little bit up in the throat and the jaw. Can you release in the upper body as you continue to hold the integrity of this movement from the depth of your abdomen? And then holding your knees up again still for a moment, just for a couple of breaths. One more breath in, and then lightly dropping your feet down to the floor. And just noticing what you feel now. And your heels might be a little bit closer into your buttocks, your feet parallel. Now we are going to bring movement into the pelvis. So this is a really nice release after what you've just been doing. So as you breathe in, begin to rock the pelvis forward. So you're rolling over the tailbone, peeling your lower vertebrae off the floor. You could even place your hand underneath to see the gap. And as you breathe out, flattening the lower back, drawing the pelvis back, even maybe lifting the tailbone a little. And come to that movement. Now you are synchronizing with the breath. You breathe in to peel forwards. So you're not lifting your bottom off the floor. And you breathe out to draw the lower back back. And like I said with that pelvic floor breath, which incidentally you might like to do now, when you exhale and you flatten the back, you lift the pelvic floor. Maybe you notice the back of your head sliding back. And as you inhale and you tilt forwards, opening the belly, you might notice your skull sliding towards you. So the whole body is involved in this very lovely pelvic tilting. And incidentally, this is just a great thing to do anyway. So good if you have any lower back stiffness. And this might be enough movement for you, especially if you're somebody here with any sacroiliac problems, any lower back problems. But maybe some of you would like to begin to come into a little bit of a moving bridge. So you inhale and you tilt forwards, and as you exhale, lift your arms over your head and now press through your feet. Peel the spine up and come all the way up. And as you inhale, you bring the arms down, you tilt forwards. And as you exhale, tilting back and lifting all the way into your bridge arms over your head. We'll take 3 more. Inhaling, coming down and tilting the pelvis forwards. And exhaling, coming into your bridge, arms over your head, pressing into your feet. Inhaling, tilting forwards. Exhaling, lifting. And on this last one, inhale, coming down, tilting forwards, we'll stay up just for a few breaths if you want to. If you don't want to, you could still take the moving bridges or come down to rest. And if you want to stay here, can you take your chin a little bit further back so you're not bringing it into your chest, and really lift the sideways, lift the pelvis. Strong now in your legs, pressing into the feet.
breathing right to the top of your chest. One more breath in. And then slowly, bone by bone, allowing your spine to settle back into the mat, down to the floor, feeling your sacrum melting as it reaches the floor. Oh, I love that feeling. And taking a breath and softening now in your belly. And then bringing your knees into your fingertips. So I'd like you to keep your thighs vertical, your arms are straight. And don't worry too much about the pelvis now. We're going to come to a very enlivened sense of the breath. So take a full breath in with your arms straight. And on the exhale, pull your knees in towards you. And as you breathe in, straighten your arms again, pushing your knees away. And breathing out, drawing your knees towards you. Lovely little massage for the back, stretching of the lower back. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, draw your knees towards you. Breathing in, lengthen. Breathing out, drawing your knees towards you and staying here now with your knees right into the chest. And we'll take some core twists. So taking your arms out in a T shape, take your palms so they're facing down. And with the core twisting, we don't touch our knees to the floor. So this is quite strong for the oblique muscles in the abdomen. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lower your knees to the right. Take your head to the left, but don't touch your knees to the floor. And then inhale, lift your knees to the top. And exhale, lower your knees to the left, take your head to the right. And if you're able to keep going like this, obviously if this is quite a strain for your back in any way, you could lower your feet to the floor and take some very gentle twists without the core engagement. So you're breathing into the center, you breathe out to each side and your head goes in the opposite direction. Can you really synchronize the movement with the breath? And feel everything. Where do you feel this core twisting? And taking one more to each side. And then drawing your knees in towards you, having a little bit of a hug. Taking a breath in, and on the breath out, lifting your head towards your knees. You're coming into a little tight ball. And take another breath in here. And then release the head down, release the feet down and slide them away. Taking a moment to feel the whole body. Noticing if you feel the same or different since you began, particularly noticing the contact between the back of your floor and the mat. You know what I mean, the back of your body and the mat. And then sliding your heels up towards the groin and allowing the knees to drop out. So the soles of your feet are together. Hands could be on your belly, or you might like to have your arms in cactus arms. Elbows coming straight up from the armpits. And to begin with, simply noticing the feeling of the inner thighs, the feeling of the pelvis, all parts of the pelvis, the floor, the front, the back. Do you know what? In fact, can you bring your arms down by your sides? We're going to come into another little moving bridge, but within this open butterfly. But we're going to this time lift on the inhale. So as you inhale, press into your feet, lift Your pelvis up, arms come over your head. So this is sunflower pose. We did it on Monday. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly come all the way down. Let's take a few more like that. And if this is quite hard for you, just lift a tiny bit, a tiny bit. You don't need to come into a strong bridge. Or maybe this morning, if you're really honouring your intention, you want to rest with your back on the floor. You don't want to come into the lift. Please, please look after yourselves. Let's take one more. And the inhale, lifting. And then on the exhale, coming down. And using your hands to bring your knees together. Knees in towards you. Have a little roll around. A little bit of a roll around, maybe a little bit of a circle on your lower back. And then coming to lie on your side. So I'm going to be lying, I'm lying on my left-hand side. We could start there. And make sure your body's in a nice straight line. Your right foot is stacked on the left. And you could rest your hand on your head. That would be fine. And then inhaling, lift the right leg up. And exhale, come down. So this again is very subtle. Inhale, lift. So we're not lifting really high. I'm just lifting about 30 centimeters. Exhale, come down. Inhaling, lift up. Exhale, come down. And see where you notice the sensation of this movement. I had the most beautiful email, and I know you're here, from somebody who did the gentle practice on Monday, who makes bread. And he said that having done a yoga practice and becoming a little bit more aware, a little bit more sensitive to sensation, that his whole experience of making bread transformed. So I wish I had it in front of me to read out to you. Thank you so much for that, by the way. It's like he felt every particle of the bread, and he felt himself making it with love, making it for the people he loves. Next time your right leg is up, keep it there. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift the left leg to meet it. Slightly harder now. Can you hold here for a few breaths? So that opening to awareness, opening to sensitivity, for me is one of the things I love most about a yoga practice. And when I receive feedback like that, I can't tell you how happy it makes me. So thank you. Taking a breath in and then gently lowering your legs down to the floor. Ooh, I think I held you there for quite a long time. And coming to lie on the right side of your body, please. So making sure you're lined up completely. Your left foot is stacked on the right. Maybe you're resting your head in your right hand. And then inhaling, lifting the left leg up just a little way. And exhale, dropping it. And inhale, lifting. And exhale, dropping. Taking a few more. So less is more here. It's not about lifting high. Just these little lifts, noticing where you feel it, imagining you're making bread. Every particle, fully alive, sensate, open to the day. And then lifting your left leg up and keeping it there, inhaling, and on the exhale, lift your right leg to join it. And can you hold this for a few breaths? Trying not to hold with your jaw or your shoulders or your throat. One more breath in, and then lower the right leg followed by the left. And come to lying on your back now. come to lying on your back, knees bent. And seeing if you're able to find as much length in the spine as possible. So I know you can't really actively do this, but aware of the length of your spine. And come to feel the body now, feeling the breath. Becoming super soft in the face, the eyes, the mouth. Feeling the floor beneath you. And then we're going to take the soles of our feet together and allow the knees to drop out again. Hands probably on your belly. And what we're going to do now is a release exercise. And I really, really recommend that you move millimeter by millimeter. So I'm going to very, very simply, millimeter by millimeter, begin to draw the knees together. And I can't remember who it was who said that really it should take about half an hour for your knees to meet. So that gives you a sense here. We're not just clapping our knees together. So you're really soft in the belly, you're breathing naturally. And some of you might not notice anything at all. You might just simply think this is a very slow movement, but some of you might become aware of a little bit of a tremor. So I can feel this now. If you've done this before, just allow yourself to go with it completely and enjoy it. If you haven't done this before, I don't want you to be alarmed by this tremor. It's simply a release of the psoas muscle, this big muscle that connects the lower body and the upper body. But this is a muscle that stores memory. It can store trauma. This is a very classical trauma release exercise. And allow yourself, some of you will be really flapping your knees, a bit like butterfly wings. Can you stay with it and go with it? Just breathing through it. Breathing through it, allowing whatever ripples of movement to erupt. I'm going to leave you for a little while to explore this movement. We didn't do this on Monday, or last week, I mean. And I also really don't want you to be concerned if the vibrations, if the tremors bring with them a release of emotion. That would be entirely normal and really brilliant if that's happening, actually. If you feel tears, if you feel kind of memories locked from the past coming up, it's okay. This is really a muscular release. Just stay with it. Stay with it. And then eventually, you might need to artificially do this now, bringing the soles of your feet together, your knees together, and sliding your feet away. So you can come to bathe in the aftermath of that core work and that release work at the end. Take a few breaths to simply absorb, to simply feel. Staying with everything, very, very close. Alert to all sensation. Alert to the quality of your breath. And when you're ready, bringing your knees into your chest, having a bit of a roll. You might like to roll side to side or head to tail, and meeting me
in an all fours position for something a little bit different. But I hope we can bring the awareness of the first part of the practice into a little bit of flow, a little bit of movement. So having your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. If you need, you can take blanket under your knees to cushion. And that same pelvic tilting we did on our backs, let's do it now. So on a breath in, tilt the pelvis forwards and watch that ripple all the way up your spine as your chest opens, maybe your throat opens. And then breathing out, tilt the pelvis back, drawing your navel to the spine, chin to your chest. And in your own time, allowing the breath to move you. Allow the breath to move you. So maybe you begin a breath in and then you surf that breath in with the movement. Maybe you begin a breath out and then you surf the breath out with the movement. Alive and fluid in your spine. But very much with that sense of the pelvic floor in your abdominal muscles, even your inner thighs, enlivened from the earlier part of the practice and integral to what you're doing now. And the next time you inhale, tilting the spine down, the pelvis forwards. And exhaling, drawing everything up towards the spine and pushing into your hands back into pose of the child. And you might sway a little here, moving from hand to hand, from buttock to buttock. And really pressing your hands into the mat, almost drawing them towards you to pull you back up on an inhale and to dip the spine down. Really separate your sitting bones. And then exhale, drawing everything up towards the spine, pushing through your hands back to child. And have a little sway, a little feel around. Alive with the breath. And then breathing in, draw yourself up. And this time, curl your toes under. On a breath out, begin to lift into a downward dog. So we haven't done anything for the hamstrings, so maybe your knees are really bent here. We'll come up and down a few times. So don't be in any hurry to straighten the legs, but try now to find strength in your arms. Push into your hands. One more breath in. And then breathe out, drop your knees. Sit back on your heels for pose of the child. And swaying around a little bit, feeling from hand to hand, from buttock to buttock. And then almost pulling your hands towards you, breathing into all fours and dipping the spine. Really brighten the chest. Curl your toes under. And on the breath out, draw yourself back into your downward dog. And this time maybe you're ready to walk out your dog softly, gently. If you're somebody here today who can't take their head beneath their heart for whatever reason, you could continue in the cat-cow movement on all fours or come up to standing and continue with that pelvic tilting. One more breath in here and then breathing out, dropping the knees, sitting back towards your child pose. Lovely waking up of the spine. And then last time, breathe in, come back to all fours and dip down, open the chest. Curl your toes under and on the breath out, scoop the navel up and in and bring yourself to whatever version of downward dog you want to today. Maybe knees bent, maybe you now are ready to begin to take your heels down to the floor. And we'll take 5 breaths here. If this is too much for you, you could drop your knees, have a rest and then come back. But during these 5 breaths, can you see what it feels like to lengthen from your armpits to your hip creases? So you're taking the tops of your thighs up and back.
Lovely, long, 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 long torso, long spine. And breathe fully now. Breathe open the whole body. Lovely. And then looking in between your hands and walking your hands and feet so that they're together and you come into a standing forward fold. So we'll make it a little bit of a ragdoll forward fold to begin with. Your knees are really bent, your belly is over your thighs. You could shake your head yes, no, you could sway. Feeling that decompression of the spine, a sense of pouring out of the pelvis. Imagine a waterfall of your torso pouring out. Come to your breath. And then either with your fingertips on the floor or holding your shins, on a breath in, straighten your legs and lift your heart. And then breathe out, fold down. Bending your knees again. So we'll do that 2 more times, coming into forward fold, and then inhaling into half forward fold, straightening your legs. Really smiling the collarbones, shoulders away from the ears, and exhale, folding in. Full breaths, 1 more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And we're going to unfurl our spines. We're going to come up bone by bone, like the frond of a fern. So really bending your knees, drop the tailbone and begin to come up bone by bone so the whole of your shoulders and head are flopping forwards. Press into your feet. So good for us. Bone by bone, feel the spine reintegrate. Please keep your chin right into your chest. Don't lift it, even when your shoulders have arrived back. And when your shoulders have rolled back, can you take the tip of your forefinger and middle finger of either hand and press them lightly in between your eyebrows and your forehead. And then use the pressure of your fingers to very gently push your skull up. Push your skull up, eyes closed, and eventually feel the lightness or maybe the heaviness of your skull perched on the very top of the spine. And then take a moment, taking your hands over your chest, your belly, to breathe with your verticality. Feeling through the feet. Wonderful. And then opening your eyes and taking your hands to your lower back, fingers pointing down. You can be soft in the knees. And gently on a breath in, push the pelvis forwards. Come into very slight back bend here. Nothing too strong. Keep your chin into your chest. And then breathe out, come back to vertical. Breathing in, push your pelvis forwards. This time maybe lift your chin, only if that's okay for your neck. And breathing out, come back. And then breathing in, pushing forwards. And now stay here, breathe out. Maybe straighten your legs. Take a breath or two here. Opening the front of your pelvis, your hip flexors. 1 more breath in. And then breathe out, strong abdomen, bring yourself back to vertical. On a breath in, lifting your arms out by your sides, turn the thumbs down. And exhale, sweep your hands behind you to interlace. You can lift your hands up the spine a bit just to release the shoulders. And then rolling the shoulders up and back. Lengthen your arms out behind you. Soften the knees. And on a breath in, really brighten the chest, pulling back a little if that's fine for your shoulders. And then on the breath out, hinge from the hips, come all the way down, bringing your arms with you. And then pressing into your feet, breathing in, come all the way up. And breathing out, cascade all the way down, arms over your head. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in, push through your feet to bring you all the way up. And breathing out, pour yourself down. Maybe your arms a little bit more released around the shoulders now. Take a breath in here, and then still in a forward fold, lower your hands to your lower back and slide them down the back of your legs. Lovely. And then from here, pressing through your feet and breathing in, coming all the way up, sweeping your arms with you. And breathing out, hands to your heart. Take a moment to feel the body. On the breath in, lifting your arms up. Holding your left wrist. And gently on a breath out, coming over to the right. I'd be really grateful if anyone who's here today could email me to let me know what's happening with the image on your screens, because as I'm practicing now, I can see half of my body cut off, and I'm just hoping that's not the same for you. So I'd be really grateful if you could let me know, because I might need to do something with the camera or the computer. Take a few breaths, pressing into your left foot as you direct the breath into the left side of the body. And then inhale, come to the top. Take your right wrist, press into the right foot as you breathe out and you come over to the left, directing your breath into the right side of the body. Lovely little side stretch. And then breathing in, come to the top. And breathe out, release your arms down. And take a moment to feel. I'm going to take the breath of joy, which I think some of you have done with me in other classes. And it's a 3-part breath which really brings air into 3 sections of the lungs, and the movement of our arms will help that. So if you haven't done it before, you might like to watch me for the first time and join in when you're ready. Palms facing forwards. In, in, in. Really let it out with your open mouth on the exhale. And then breathe in. Breathe in the morning. In, in. In, in, in. Let's do it 3 more times. In, in, in. In, in, in. In, in, in. Lovely. And then release the arms. Slowly come to standing. And just feel the body, feel the breath, your skin, the space around you. Love that breath in the morning. Each movement, this movement, the first movement of the arms fills the lower lobules, this movement fills the middle lobules, and this movement right to the top facilitates the breath right up to the top. So it's really encouraging a full breath, which in the present times might be quite a good thing to be doing. Okay, we're going to come to some balance now. So I want to really stabilize down through the right leg. Almost growing roots down through the sole of your right foot. And bring the left leg over, pushing the heel away so you get a little bit of a toe stretch. And taking the right forearm across the body, palm facing down. And lifting the left arm. Take a breath in to lengthen through the left side of the body. And then begin to slide the right arm further to the left as you come over to the right. It's not about coming as far as you can go. You might be looking down over that right shoulder. And taking a few breaths here to feel into this balance. Maybe drawing the tailbone down a little, the pubic bone up a little bit. So we have all that core strength to hold us here. And then gently coming up, releasing the arms, releasing the foot. And then bringing the right foot over, pressing the heel away, taking the left forearm across the body, palm facing down, lifting the right arm. So really stabilizing down through the left foot. Take a breath in, and then on the breath out, begin to slide the left arm to the right. Right arm comes over by the ear, and you come over into a little side stretch, maybe looking down to the floor over your left shoulder. And you'll feel it in the side body as well as being a little bit of a balance. Can you stay steady with your breath? Beautiful, and then gently coming up, releasing both arms, feeling both feet firmly on the floor. Now I hope you've got somewhere nice to fix your gaze. Maybe you're looking out of the window at a tree, or maybe you're looking at something on your wall. But finding somewhere where you can fix your gaze for your drishti. This is what really helps in balancing. And stabilizing, we'll come to the left foot. So really growing roots down through that left foot, hugging the muscles to the bone. And then taking the right knee out. Heel comes into the ankle. So it's a little bit of a hip opener here. So we're coming into Vrksasana, tree pose. And it may be that this is absolutely enough for you and you lift your arms. Or maybe you'd like to bring the foot higher up the leg. Please don't place your heel in your knee joint. That's not a good idea. But you can press the heel and the inner foreleg together. Or maybe you come all the way up to the inner thigh. And you're really drawing your outer hips, you're pulling them in towards each other as you push the inner thigh and the foot together. So it's a condensing into the midline. And then lifting your arms. Maybe take the tips of your thumbs and forefingers together. And I'm going to shut up so you can come to your own inner stillness here. And if it means wobbling in and out, that's absolutely fine. All I would recommend is that you don't stop breathing. Stay present, stay with the breath. One more breath in. And on the breath out, release your arms down. Breathe in, lifting your right knee, toes pulling up towards the knee. And then lightly float the foot down. And that can be hard. I can really feel it in my left foot and ankle. Incidentally, if balancing is really impossible for you, really hard, you come and hold a wall. And then remembering where your drishti is, where you're going to fix your eyes, and feel down through the right foot, growing roots, hugging your muscles to the bones of the right leg, and taking the left knee out, heel into the ankle. Nice little hip opener on the left, and deciding how high up the leg you're going to come. Try not to grip with the toes of the standing foot. You could actually take the toes up and away and feel yourself pushing through the heel and the ball of the foot. And then condensing everything, pulling everything into the center. And then lifting your arms. And coming to your breath. Really pulling the tailbone down a little. So we're engaging our core, lifting the pubic bone. And coming to your sweet spot. Stay with the breath. Stay with the wobbles, moving in and out. We're as interested in how we deal with imbalance as we enjoy a sense of balance. It's all part of the same thing. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, release your arms. Inhaling, lift your left knee, toes pulled up. And exhale, float the foot down. And take a moment now to feel both feet on the floor. Arms by your sides. And coming to kneeling. Coming to kneeling. If you're able to, sitting on your heels, or you could kneel up high. Or you might like to come back to the standing version, because we're going to do this again. Yoga mudra. So rolling your shoulders up and back and taking your hands behind you to really open the chest. So we'll take this slow and really synchronize each part of the movement with the breath. So taking an inhale, drawing your arms behind you if that's available, finding an opening in the chest. And then leading with the chest, exhale and bring your belly over your thighs, head down, and lower your hands to your lower back. And then begin on an inhale to roll over your forehead, over the top of your head, and begin to bring your arms with you. So your hips should be over your knees. When you've rolled over onto the top of your head, your arms come with you. Exhale here. And then slowly we come back the way we came, really massaging the head. Hands to the lower back. And then inhaling, coming all the way up. And we'll keep going, exhaling, coming down. So don't extend your arms too much to begin with. Feel the belly on the thighs. And then when you come to roll over your head, then bring your arms with you. Again, this is fantastic for encouraging more air into the lungs. Coming back, inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling, leading with the chest, leading with the chest, leading with the chest. Come to the forehead, lifting your arms as you roll over the top of your head. If you like to stay here, you can. With a few breaths, you might feel a lot of weight through the top of your head. Or you might like to keep moving with me. Take it really slow. It's a meditation in movement with the breath. And making the next one your last one. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in to come all the way back up. And releasing your hands on your thighs. And simply coming to feel the body, feel the breath. And we'll take a few minutes breathing practice before relaxation, just because we can. And it's the best part of the practice anyway, in my mind. So if you'd like to come to sitting any way that's really comfortable for you, and that might mean on a chair, absolutely fine, or it might mean propped up against the wall. Not everybody wants to sit cross-legged, that's absolutely fine. But come to your easy seat and come to settle. So we've done quite a lot in this practice, so you might want to take a moment to really feel into the body. And we'll take just a minute or so of a breath called Tibetan Brahmari, B breath, before you settle down into relaxation. So bringing your palms together in front of the heart space. I'm going to go straight into it. If it's new to you, you might want to watch for a couple of rounds and then join in. The important thing is to be able to use your thumbs to close your ear flaps when you hum.
So we're making the sound of a B. So breathing into your heart space. Breathing out. Breathing in, and then beginning and then bringing your hands back to the heart. So 3 syllables as part of the exhalation. A, U, M. And the is when you close your ears. See if you can really enjoy the tactile nature of this. Really feel the fingers on your scalp, on your cheeks. It's a lovely way to wake up again in the morning. So breathing in. You find your own rhythm here. Really enjoy the resonating in your skull. Keep going for a few breaths. Making your next one your final one, breathing into the heart space. And then lowering your hands, closing your eyes and coming to a moment to simply observe. And it may be for you that you'd like to stay for the remaining part of your practice in a seated meditation. Or it might be time for you to come and lie on your back. I would recommend that you stay longer in relaxation than the length of this class. I will turn off the computer in about the Zoom in about 2 minutes, but you might want to lie here for a lot longer. Feet dropping out to the side, palms facing upwards. Open to the day. Open to the day with that support completely beneath you. If you set an intention for your practice, bring it right back into the heart space now and allow it to penetrate every cell of your body. And as you simply allow yourself now to breathe naturally and bathe in the sea of sensations